Alrighty, good morning. Just wanted to go over a few trades and some thoughts. So I had one win yesterday, it's very small, on QSI, this little afternoon push here. I love afternoon pushes. They're one of my favorite patterns. I got in on this higher low here and then sold here. Super weak play, but I love afternoon pushes because, conceptually, if we're looking at this play here, if I'm a short and I want this thing to fade all day, let's say, and it kind of consolidates at support, which in this case is 30%. So I've already locked in some gain at 30%. Maybe I'm waiting for this thing to fade. And I kind of see it bouncing off support, in this case, 1, 2, 3 times. And then it makes a higher low. I'm getting a little nervous. I probably might want to cover a little bit of my position. And then I love the higher low concept because to me, it kind of confirms that it's going to extend, in my opinion, versus maybe it bounces off support and then it just kind of fades. But I think going forward, I'm going to transition and just to buying off of support because the risk reward is just much better. And I find with these afternoon plays that they're not massive gains. So when I'm playing the higher low, I'm almost playing like the second half of the move. Whereas if I get in at support, I could play the full move. But regardless, I was happy about this trade. It's my favorite pattern. I'm very comfortable with it. And I got a little bit of, I was like 6-7% or something like that. This morning, I lost on SOAR, a first green day bounce. And on paper, to me, it looked okay. Had this parabolic, faded to support. Saw this kind of little curling action. I had around 600,000 pre-market volume, so I thought that was enough. And then, next thing I know, it cracks below support. And I also lost, or I broke even on BTM, which is at 182 right now. I ended up buying here at 2 at first. Same concept. It went up. It cracked pretty hard. It fell to a whole number in daily support to its original run point. Bitcoin is still pretty hot. I thought I was in the clear. So then it cracks, falls below 180. So I had to get out. But then it quickly reclaimed 180. So I got back in. And then next thing you know, it's just kind of a failed bounce. I mean, I guess you could consider this bounce something, but I mean, the way that BTCT and BTCS were bouncing, I was really looking for a 220 at least. I mean, 240, really 230 in this kind of resistance support becomes resistance area. This is probably the first trade ever where I'm genuinely shocked that this didn't work. But I'm done with first green days personally. To me, I've made 18 trades in the month of November. 8 of them have been first green days or kind of sympathy plays, and I've lost every single one of them. If I traded just my gap and craps afternoon pushes and bounce plays, I would be 6 for 10 and up 15%. So for me, it's like I don't want to give up first green days. I want to have as many tools in my shed as possible, but I also don't see the reason to force something if I just can't figure it out. And, conceptually, does the pattern make sense to me? Yeah, I mean, it does, right? You see these things, they go parabolic, they fade all the way to support, shorts have to cover. And it's a pattern that's been around for a long time, but at the same time, it is a backside pattern. And to me, you're either buying something that's illiquid to get a good entry, or by the time the volume comes in, it's too late. And then the risk reward's not there. So it's like, and sometimes they pop at random times, and it's just like, I don't know. To me, conceptually, I'm kind of on the fence about it anyways, and I just can't execute on them. It's that simple. And for me, why not just trade the patterns that I'm good at? That's kind of what my thought process is right now. Not to say I'm going to give up on them forever, but when I have 18 trades and 8 losses are from one pattern, I mean, I just feel like I got to cut it out. I mean, that's just kind of how I look at it. And then kind of feeding on that point, I was looking at works this morning, right here, pre-market for a gap and crab pattern that I like. It's 25% away from pre-market highs. It's falling to daily support, and it's bouncing. Maybe a little bit too much information, but I had to use the restroom, so I like felt a little rushed, and I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta go to the bathroom. I don't really want to buy this right now, like, so I didn't buy it. It kind of has like, it says low overhead supply on dilution tracker, but they had about like 7 million kind of warrants around, I think like this 150-ish area. And there was some volume resistance on the daily chart. So I'm like, okay, like all these things, I'm just gonna kind of let it be right now. But then look at this, right? And then another play was SPAI. I was looking at this all the way over here for a higher low. But I was in QSI, so I was kind of caught up. So, and both of these stocks are following the trend that I've been seeing of low overhead supply stocks are running. We see SPAI, WRX, HCWB before the offering, AREN, OMER, SINT, PULM. And to me, it's not a coincidence, right? Shorts know that there's not much overhead supply. There isn't much overhead supply to get dumped on. And to me, it's just not a coincidence that these stocks are holding. So for me, going forward, these are the plays that I'm going to be focusing on. Another play, like I said, was the bounce plays. And this is a perfect example. Now, this is an OTC stock, so a little bit different, but I love this play. A massive drop, in this case, 40%. That's what I'm looking for, 40%, to a support level, which this case it was. And then look at this bounce. This was like nearly a 30% bounce. So this is a play that I love. So I'm just going to focus on the plays that I feel comfortable with and that I like. And to me, going long in space, we're kind of going against the odds, right? And to me, I have to just play what I'm comfortable with. And to me, the low overhead supply thing makes sense. I understand that things with high overhead supply can run, but I'm just going to focus on what I'm comfortable with. And then as far as anything else today, I didn't really like CDT unless it fell all the way back down to 10 for a bottom bounce, because we have been seeing those. But I much would prefer a crack, like a gainer bounce, instead of this kind of fading action. So I probably won't do much there. And the other one was APLM, which did kind of crack, but now it's kind of doing the same thing, kind of fading. I just want a straight crack to support instead of this kind of fading action. And other than that, I don't really see much on the radar. Yeah, that's about it. So yeah, a few good trades, a few bad trades, but I think the biggest thing for me today is just recognizing what I'm good at and what I'm not good at. And I got to play the numbers. I got to play the data, which is that if I just focus on the patterns that I'm good at, I could possibly be a profitable trader. I mean, the numbers say that I am so far this month. And I mean, 8 losses on first Green Day patterns just isn't going to cut it for me. So that is it. Thank you so much.